Everyone, at the NFL annual meeting, I told Oakland Raiders general manager Reggie McKenzie that Courtland Sutton was the person that the Raiders should get in the first round of the NFL draft. Among other reasons, he's 6'4", 218 pounds, and won a 4.4 40. Well, they didn't do that, the Raiders, but they got someone who, from a physical perspective, is pretty much like Courtland Sutton, but more seasoned, and that is Marvatis Bryant. Marvatis Bryant came into the league in the 4th round of the 2014 NFL Draft. He was chosen by the Steelers from Clemson. His basic quality as an NFL receiver and even a college receiver has been his speed. He ran a 4.42 40 at the combine. He was noted then as a person who could really dip his hips and move his body in spite of his size. He wasn't known for being a great pass catcher between the numbers. In fact, his scouting report said that he was more of a game-breaking, big play receiver outside the numbers. When he came into the league, it took time for him to get his footing in the Steelers system as predicted by the scouts. They said that he was more of a developmental project because he came out as an underclassman, right? And then in the 2015 campaign, he started to really pick up his sea legs and was averaging as much as 16 yards a catch. Then in 2016, he was suspended for the entire season for a substance abuse problem. He filed for appeal, but his appeal was rejected, and he was assigned to a rehab facility. He returned in 2017, and that year was marked by an Instagram post where he was timed with an iPhone running a 4.27 40-yard dash. And when asked about it, he said that, admittedly, the scouting combine, he really didn't have a chance to, or really didn't take time to work out. He didn't really focus on it and put the effort in to run a faster 40, which is a really powerful admission if you think about it in retrospect, right? But this time he did. And so he went from being a 4.42 guy coming out of college to a 4.47 guy in the NFL as of April of last year when he was timed and was posted on Instagram. Then he was, when he came back in, had a really great campaign, but he was put on the scout program for just a little bit of time, mainly because I think what Mike Tomlin, the Steelers head coach, was trying to do was make him work harder, and he wanted to see if he could fight his way back into contention after being demoted. Well, not surprisingly, Marvatis took the demotion to heart and wanted to be traded. He made it publicly known, ESPN, that he wanted to be traded in October, and the reaction that Tomlin gave at that point in time was, you know, we've made a lot of investment to money. We put a lot of investment in Marvatis Bryant, is what Coach Tomlin said, and so we're not ready to trade him. And so they didn't. But apparently, Marvatis kept up the request to be traded, and that request was granted at the NFL draft yesterday. He becomes an Oakland Raider. Now the question is, what kind of player are the Raiders getting? Well, first of all, they're getting the fastest person on their team. They're getting a guy who has speed in the area of Tyreek Hill, with the Kansas City Chiefs. They're getting that kind of guy in terms of speed. They're getting someone who will be very exciting and very effective to run end arounds and reverses out of the backfield as a flanker. They're getting someone who is the alert in the West Coast offense system. What I mean by that is the receivers, either the wide receiver, the split end, or the flanker, or the tight end have, in general, sometimes the backs are the alert. So that alert is always someone going deep that generally clears out for the second receiver, which is considered the primary receiver. And there's on the playbook is written ALERT, alert. And that is because the quarterback is instructed to watch the coverage and who is covering that person. If that person is open, you throw it. You look to see if that person is going to be open because they're running a route that is designed to score a touchdown. That's why I say Bryant is the alert in the West Coast offense system. Now, will he be effective for the Raiders? I really do think so. My concern is that he comes from Calhoun, South Carolina. He was born on the 20th of December. And he comes to the West Coast. He comes to the Bay Area specifically. And we've had a number of brothers, young brothers, who come from the South. When they come to the Bay Area, they don't adjust well. And so something happens to them, like perhaps what happened with, Reuben Foster, which is getting resolved, or Aldon Smith. And there are other examples as well. Martavis needs a tight group of well-adjusted people in the Bay Area to help him navigate through life, because he comes to California from a substance perspective. Marijuana is literally free and legal, right? Not free, but legal. And, well, of course, less expensive than it's ever been. And therein lay the problem, potentially. So he has to be given an incentive, a powerful incentive contractually, not to abuse a substance again and screw up his career and his life. Because while marijuana is legal in California, as you know, watching this, it's not even around the United States by any means, particularly with respect to the federal government. So he has to be counseled and watched from that perspective. He has to have a tight group of friends, well-moneyed, not hangers-on, women who have their own advanced degrees. I know you are laughing at me when I say this, but I'm very serious. Because if he has this structure, and a familial structure at that, he will excel. But if he doesn't, then, you know what? I would be very concerned that some of the occurrences in his life that produced his one-year suspension could happen yet again. That said, welcome to the Oakland Raiders. I think he's going to do it. I think Martavis is going to do a heck of a job this year.